You could feel it the moment the final out dropped yesterday, something shifted. Not just another win, not just another decent performance, but one of those games that makes you stop and think, okay, this team might actually be turning a corner. And now, right on cue, the Toronto Blue Jays follow it up with exactly the kind of news fans have been waiting for. We're talking multiple roster moves, key injury updates, and a couple of decisions that are already getting people talking for all the right reasons. Let's start with the energy around this team right now because it matters. That win yesterday wasn't just about the scoreboard. It was about confidence. You saw it in the at-bats, you saw it in the dugout, and you definitely saw it in the way guys carried themselves late in the game. That's something this team has struggled with all season, building momentum and actually holding on to it. Now they've got a real chance to stack wins and take a second straight series, and suddenly, things look a whole lot different. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The Jays didn't just sit back and enjoy the win, they made moves. Real moves. The kind that show they're actively trying to fix things instead of hoping they magically improve. Yohendrick Pinango is officially on the Major League roster, and that's a name you need to pay attention to. This isn't just a random call-up to fill a spot. This is a guy who has been producing consistently in AAA and has been quietly building a strong case for himself. His numbers back it up too, an OPS sitting comfortably in the .800s this season, with flashes of serious power. And it's not empty production either. The bat speed has improved, the approach looks more mature, and when he connects, the ball jumps. Now, let's be real about it. He's not a perfect player. Defensively, he's limited. He's a corner outfielder, and he's not going to wow you with the glove. But the Jays didn't bring him up for defense. They brought him up because they need offense, especially from the left side. And that's exactly what he provides. At 23 years old, this is a big moment for him. And for the Jays, it's a bit of a statement too. They're willing to give opportunities to guys who are actually performing, not just sticking to the same names out of habit. That alone should get fans excited. Of course, the reason this move even happened isn't ideal. Nathan Lucas going on the 10-day IL is a tough break, especially considering how hot he was. This guy finally gets into a rhythm, looks like one of the best hitters on the team for a stretch, and then boom, another setback. It's been that kind of year. Every time someone starts rolling, something interrupts it. The good news is it doesn't sound like a long-term issue. If it really is closer to 2 or 3 weeks instead of over a month, the Jays can manage that. But it still stings, because he was giving them exactly what they needed at the plate. Now here's where things get really interesting, the pitching side. Prelander Berroa is officially back and set to make his return, and this is huge. This isn't just another arm coming off the IL. This is one of the organization's most exciting young pitchers, and someone they clearly believe can make an impact right now. He's going to be starting against Boston, and that's not a small assignment. That tells you everything about how much confidence they have in him. They're not easing him in with a low-pressure situation. They're throwing him right into a meaningful game and saying, go show us what you've got. And honestly, this could be a massive turning point. Because even though his AAA numbers didn't look great on paper, the underlying stuff tells a completely different story. The velocity is there. The movement is there. The raw talent hasn't gone anywhere. Sometimes it's just about putting it all together at the right time. Now, the ripple effect of this move is just as important. Eric Lauer is heading to the bullpen, and if you've been paying attention, this felt inevitable. He just hasn't been consistent enough as a starter, and the team clearly needed to shake things up. Moving him to the bullpen gives them flexibility, and it also takes some pressure off him. But let's not pretend this is nothing. This is a significant role change, and not every pitcher handles that well. Some guys thrive in the bullpen. Others struggle to adjust. So now the question becomes, what version of Lauer are we going to see? Because if he embraces it, he could actually become a useful piece. A long reliever, a bridge guy, someone who can eat innings when needed. But if the struggles continue, then this move might just be the beginning of a bigger decision down the line. And speaking of decisions, the rotation shuffle is another big one. They've lined things up so that Dylan Cease faces Boston, while Patrick Corbin gets the start earlier. That's strategic. That's not random. That's the team actively trying to put their best matchups in place to win games. And then you add Max Scherzer into that mix right after, and suddenly, that series looks a lot more favorable. On paper, That's a rotation that can dominate. The only question is whether they actually execute. Because we've seen this before, good matchups that don't turn into wins. That's been one of the most frustrating parts of this season. The potential is there, but it hasn't always translated. Now, there's another layer to all of this that people aren't talking about enough: roster pressure. With guys coming back soon, including Jose Berrios working his way back, decisions are coming. Tough ones. You can't keep everyone. Someone is going to lose their spot, and based on current performance, Lauer might be right in the middle of that conversation. That's just the reality of it. When the team gets healthier, the margin for error disappears. You either perform or you're out. And then there's the offense, which quietly might be the most encouraging part of all this. Kazuma Okamoto is heating up again, and when he's locked in, you can feel the difference immediately. The power is ridiculous. We're talking 400-plus foot home runs like it's nothing, exit velocities over 109 miles per hour, just crushing baseballs. When he's going, the lineup looks completely different. Pitchers have to respect him, which opens things up for everyone else. So keep your eyes on this team over the next few days, because this could be the moment we look back on and say, that's where it started.